So let's see, today's Tuesday, April 15th. Just got done with a super lap. Was an absolute thrash getting this car done. C6 was done, honestly the C6 was done last year, but we melted a piston from we were doing some experimentation and we just got it wrong. And so waited a long time for pistons and then wrist pin issues. And anyway, poor Eric Fleming's been out of the seat in this car for basically the entire season. So we have a spare engine now, which we're excited about that one. Shout out to LME. The engine made 1,025 on the engine dyno at 9,000 RPM. A couple minor changes, still mechanical roller, still 15.5 to 1. It's got a new LME billet intake, about a 900 thousandths of lift, and big daily 6-stage dry sump. It's tall deck now, so we get to make some headers. And so yeah, unfortunately, this past weekend at Superlap, we ran into a thrust bearing issue. We monitor scavenge filter every session. As high strung as these engines are and as expensive as they are, we want to know what's going on. And the scavenge filter essentially filters all the oil as it comes out of the engine before it goes back into the oil tank for several reasons. One reason is so you can inspect it, keep an eye on your stuff. The second reason is the oil bypass needs to have quality oil. Otherwise, if there's any debris in there, it'll get stuck in the bypass, and then the bypass will open. You'll have really funky oil pressure, and it's not good. So we knocked the thrust bearing out of this motor. It's legitimately, this engine's 20 laps old. We did 2 shakedowns before we came. For those of you familiar with MSR Crescent, we matched our best time from last year in 1 lap with Eric Voss behind the wheel at a 108.4. And we did that on lap 2 on old scrub tires. So I'm really happy with that. Got Dakota, got Eric acclimated with it, ran the car a bunch. Ran about 40 gallons of fuel through it, which is a significant amount of fuel. And then Sunday morning, just heard some noises I didn't like and decided to pull valve covers and start digging in. And that's when we found the copper in the filter, and oil pressure was good. Jacob and Ryan, the engineers on that car, we traced oil temp and oil pressure over the course of the weekend, and it didn't move. Oil pressure nor temperature moved at all, which is a great sign. Unfortunately, it means that the thrust is coming apart, so we got our indicator out and we checked thrust, and we had a significant amount of crankshaft play, so we decided to call it. John, the engine builder, said, nope, don't run it. And so yeah, so now we get to pull this motor out and tune her up for Road Atlanta coming up in 4 weeks. So thankfully the LME engine's already built. Otherwise this would be a big deal. So Eric's best time for the weekend was a 2:04.2, I think, or a 2:04.3. He was only a couple tenths off last year, which is really good because the track is slower from the repave. They did a repave, I think, either right before or right after F1, and they either did a repave or a grinding. I don't remember which one it is, but the track is slower by about a second. And so for him to match his old time almost within a couple tenths on a slower track, having not run the car for a year, you can't be mad at that. You can't be mad at that. So I'm thrilled about that. I'm excited to see Eric progress, and just excited to see that car move forward. It needs to move forward, and when it's broken, we can't move it forward. So top right, let's go. Talking about the C7, man, she's a screamer. I am elated doesn't begin to describe this car? We built it in a truncated timeline, and it literally came down to the last minute. We got the car dynoed Thursday night. Remember, COTA test days Friday afternoon, and then Super Lap starts Saturday morning. Thursday night, the car was done dynoed. Didn't have time to do everything we wanted to do, but we finished the flat floor, we finished the chimney. You can also see our black and also black because we just didn't have time to finish. So we decided to punt. The boys got here at 4 a.m. Friday morning. We jammed through trying to get to COTA, and we just couldn't do it. Many of you know I live several minutes from the local track here, and so thanks to MSR Crescent, they stayed late and let us fix some bugs, to say the least. Shout out to those guys, because without them, we would not have been as successful. Yeah, finished the car last minute. Like, track closes at 4:30, right? It cost me a lot of beer and maybe some dead Benjamins in order to get some extra track time. But I'm thankful for it because, yeah, it's very, very helpful. So we were so late. The car's technically still a street car. Okay, it's on street tires. It has plates that are in date. It has insurance, and short of some silly things that a lot of people don't run anyway, it's technically street legal. So we drove it to the track. Didn't have a choice. Didn't have the 20 minutes to load it up and unload it at the track. We needed that time to test. So I drove it to the track, pulled it under the grid, and we did 2.5 laps. We found some shutoffs, so what we call them ECU safeties. We have all the safeties turned on, right? Because this, made 830 wheel horsepower on the dyno. We don't want to burn it down first time on track. But with these cars, with packages like this, right? The ECU, the transmission shifting, the chassis controls, because remember, we don't have any of the OEM stuff anymore. It's all gone. We have the M182 ECU, we have the Motec C187 dash logger, we have the PDM30, which controls the electronics on the chassis side. So everything has to be configured. All the channels have to be set up. All of the alarms have to be set up. All of the parts have to talk. The steering wheel has its own CAN bus, and it's got 13 channels on it. And so all of this stuff has to be configured, and it takes a team to do that. And man, let me tell you what, we had an amazing team, and several former GM calibrators, and some really good tuners. Shout out to Corbin Johnson and Ben Salasco for helping us there, and David Schmidt and Tyler Chentren, they know who they are. We just started dialing the car in and working on making it run, making sure we had all the channels. Funny story, in the thrash for the dyno, we didn't get manifold temperature configured. For those of you that don't know, it's also called IAT2 if you're a Gen 4 PCM guy, but it's basically the intake air temp after the intercooler. We didn't get it configured. Just so tired, didn't get it done. First rip off the trailer, not even a full lap. She goes 178 on the back straight of COTA. Second rip, she goes 182 on the back straight of COTA. Crankcase pressure looks good. We're not detonating. I don't have time to pull the plugs. I'm half asleep. And so we're just coming through data. And one of the things we noticed was we don't have manifold temp. Okay, we should probably get that in there. We spent the next basically day configuring to get that in there. And yeah, we weren't doing any timing offset or any power reduction safeties for manifold temp. So we got lucky with that. And like I told them, I'd rather be lucky than good in this case, because you just can't get it all done that fast without making mistakes. And we made some mistakes, but we got away with it. The car weighs 3,360 pounds with driver and fuel ready to race. That's pretty light for a C7. Considering it weighed 3,700 and change, we took a significant amount of weight out all the while adding a complete flat floor, which is about 65 pounds, plus a blower, which is just shy of 80 pounds. So we did good. She did good. She did real good, but still heavy. And so 3,400 pound car, stopping from 182 mile an hour several times in a row at Coda. And we went through a set of brake rotors in less than 10 laps. 8 laps, we cracked the rotors all the way through. Oh man, those APs are trash. Oh goodness gracious, you should get more out of your money and blah, 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 blah. Well, this car doesn't exist. No one's ever built a car like this before. No one's ever gone that fast before. And in racing, when you do things that no one has ever done, you're in uncharted territory. And so, yeah, we smoked a set of brake rotors. So, yeah, put some cooling on it, changed brake pads, got some good people there to help us with. And yeah, try not to smoke so many brake rotors. But she stopped. 2.2 longitudinal decel G. It's pretty impressive on a street tire. So, I can't complain about that. Talking about the blower. Dude, you stare at the list of mods, the things that you know you need to do, the stuff you need to engineer, the coolers you need to have, the heat rejection you're after, and the thermal capacity of all these different heat exchangers, and you then blend that with what you know works and what you know doesn't work. And at the end of the day, you're just staring at a box of parts and some numbers on a piece of paper. The first time this car made a rip down straightaway, it's probably one of the most special moments in my career. The whine that the blower makes without a filter. We have a rot guard, but it's basically just straight through, right? Like, there's nothing there. You can hear the rot guard. That's it. You can hear it all over the track. You can hear it coming down the back straightaway for 5 seconds before you even see it. You can hear it coming down turn 2, and you can hear it in the stadium corners. Like, everyone knows when that car is coming. And it is the coolest feeling to know that the combo of parts you put together made someone's day better because it was that cool. And when you build something cool, it just makes it all worth it. All the long nights, all the crazy hours, building something bad to the bone that people will share 3,000 times on Instagram, and every single person in the paddock knows about the black C7 with the blower. That's really cool. So Alan drove the wheels off of it. First rolling lap. So we did a bunch of out and ins. The first session we scrapped because I made a boo-boo, and I got the wing setback wrong. I just got the wing setback wrong. We were set back 15 inches. The rule was 10. So I had to find 5 inches. Hard to find 5 inches these days. I had to find 5 inches. How do I pull 5 inches out? We ended up taking the second element off because we've run the splitter configuration. We've run almost this entire exact aero configuration before on a single element. And so we got 3.5 inches from removing the second element, and then we slid the whole wing forward 1.5 inches to get us under 10. So the first session was just untimed, and I think we did an out and an in. The second time we went out, we did an out. We did out one time by and in, so we didn't do a full lap. But the first rolling lap where we had a consecutive 20 corners was a 15 flat, 215 flat, first lap ever. And that's crazy. Alan drove the absolute piss out of this car. And it's just a testament to driver and team working in harmony, and you have one common goal, and that's to go fast. So next session, made a couple changes, put the transponder back on, super lap, they let us back in because the wing was legal now. And yeah, first time lap was a 12.8. or I'm sorry, 12.0. So that was cool. Got the track record on legitimately the first time lap. And we're just putzing around. We had no idea that it was going to be, that fast. And oh, gee, guess what? The lap timer in the dash wasn't working because we hadn't had time to configure it. So Alan had no idea. He comes in, he goes, "How fast did I go?" And I said, "Bro, you got the track record." And he's like, "Oh, wait," he didn't even know it. How crazy is that? Like, I know so many drivers that don't know what to do with their hands when they don't have a predictive lap timer, and Alan is out there just wheeling this car like nobody's business. So because we weren't expecting it to be fast, we broke the track limits and had to go out and do it again. So Alan went out and did it again. End of the day, we won a 11.8, which is good enough to keep us on the top spot going into Sunday morning. Made a bunch of changes, did some setup stuff. The calibration guys, we had 2 remote calibrators and 3 in-person calibrators. We had 5 people total working on the engineering side of this thing. And man, let me tell you what, we made some fantastic improvements with the car over the course of the 36 hours that these boys had with it. And we got our shift times down to sub 90 milliseconds, which is really impressive. Got our air fuels straightened out. And man, the car just goes 182 down the back straightaway every single time. So happy to see that. Intake air temp, for those wondering, blower, heat soak. Yeah, it does heat soak a little bit, but we're only talking outlap is 135 degree manifold temp. Lap 2 is 150. Lap 3 is 165. Lap 4 is 175. And it kind of plateaus around 180. So it takes 5 laps to get to 180. And if you're familiar with these cars, you know that nothing negative happens other than, it does slow up a little bit. Nothing negative happens until you get to like 220. So yeah, well within the design parameters of what we hoped for. It also uses 2 gallons of fuel per lap, which is pretty interesting. It's a 5-kilometer track, 3.7 mile track, and less than 2 miles a gallon. Pretty wild. So we only get 4 laps anyway. But yeah, very, very happy with it. Thing was just turning laps, man. It's just turning laps. That's what you need when you're trying to go fast, trying to get some laps under your belt. Just a car that'll just turn laps. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Gonna get these things turned around and get prepped for Grid Life Road Atlanta.